Let me know when you're full.
Okay.
Good afternoon, McMillan Connection and other Compton City residents. My name is Eddie Williams Jr. On behalf of the McMillan Connection Block Club, it is with much enthusiasm that I welcome you to the Compton City Treasurer Candidate Forum. However, you are joining with us, Facebook, Zoom, or in person with proper social distancing. We thank you and invite you to participate by submitting questions via Facebook comments section, Zoom, or the question drop box. Please please just write down your questions and drop it into the box provided. It's over in the left-hand corner there. While we may not get to all questions, they will be reviewed. Before I introduce the treasurer candidates, please permit me to ask you a few questions. Have you ever experienced this when you open your sample ballot, or maybe even on election day, you see a list of names and wonder, who are these people? What exactly is their position on the issues of our day? What is their platform? Answering these questions is the intent and purpose of the event. We thank the voters of we the voters of the great city of Compton must be educated and well informed about who we are putting into office. So with that, we're going to get started, but just before we do, if you please bow your heads for a brief word of prayer. Eternal God and Father, we're so grateful for another day that you blessed us all to be here. I pray that you oversee. We want to thank you for everyone who is willing to come out and participate in our civil government. Bless each of the candidates who are running. Pray to give them insight and wisdom. And then each of us as the citizens, give us understanding and righteousness how to vote. We pray that you bless this whole event. Thank you for the kindness of our sister Marguerite opening her home in her backyard, and all who come together to participate. Now bless and oversee this whole operation, that everything that will be done for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right, with that, thank you. Andrea's going to come. She's going to be our Spanish interpreter. So let's give Andrea a hand.
Buenas tardes a todos. Primeramente, gracias por estar aquí, aquí en la primera junta del año. Bueno, la razón de esta junta es porque ya sé que muchos de ustedes vecinos, cuando les llegan boletas a la casa, a veces se ponen confundidos de que quién son todas estas personas. Así es que la razón que vamos a hacer esta junta ahora es porque tenemos a las personas que están corriendo por la posición de tesorero de la ciudad de Compton, y ellos están aquí para explicarnos de qué se tratan, qué es lo que van a hacer diferente de quien lo está corriendo ahorita o quien está participando, y ellos están aquí para darnos sus opiniones. Y también ¿qué más?
Yes. I'm going to just ask a few general questions to start off with each of the candidates, and then I'll go to more specific.
Así es que lo que vamos a hacer ahorita es que vamos a hacerles preguntas generales a los participantes. Is there three candidates here? Are there three candidates here?
Two of them are here, and one is on the way.
Okay, one is on the way.
Oh, okay.
One of the candidates will be represented, who's running for the mayor, will be represented by this
Entonces tenemos a varias personas aquí. Tenemos unas personas que están corriendo por tesorero, y también tenemos otras personas que nos visitan para otras posiciones que vamos a hacer van a estar en las elecciones que vienen en el mes de abril. Así es que voy a tratar de traducir lo más que pueda, muy rápido, breve, porque ya sé que es mucha información. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Adriana. Appreciate it very much. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is give two opening questions that will allow each candidate to introduce themselves. So we're going to allow them 2 minutes each. So if the candidates that are here don't mind lining up to my right, and whoever's first, I'll ask you the question. You can all listen to this question, and this is how it goes. Please tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, your work experience. What is your motivation for running for this office, and what is your vision for this office? That's the first question. The second question will be, what makes you the best candidate for this position? Now, each of these questions, I'm going to try to time you and give you each 2 minutes each to respond to the first and second question. And then after that, I'll come and ask, there's about 7 more questions, okay? So I think what we'll have to do is allow Adriana time to say these questions in Spanish. And I think she's going to try to interpret what your answer is at the same time. She'll make it short, okay?
So is it just treasures or is it
Okay,
candidates?
first question.
Just treasurer.
Excuse me.
Just treasurer.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your family, your work experience. What is your motivation for running for this office? And what is your vision for this office? That's question number 1. And then maybe we'll just do one.
Okay.
And then we'll just, we'll do question number 1. Okay.
Vamos a traer a uno por uno aquí a que contesten las preguntas, y la primera pregunta que les vamos a hacer es que si nos pueden decir un poco de ellos mismos, de su familia, de su experiencia de trabajo y su motivación para correr como tesorero de la oficina para la ciudad de Compton. Y tienen un límite de 2 minutos. No va a traducir palabra por palabra, pero le va a dar un resumen a los que ocupan español de lo que dijeron de sus respuestas.
Now, when you come up, please introduce yourself, because I don't want to mess up people's names, okay? So, whoever we have on first, when you come up, once you start, I'll start the timer.
You get to pick who comes first. There's
Oh.
3 candidates.
Well, okay, we'll go with Brother Doug
Yeah.
Sanders, and he's going to come up and go through the first question, okay?
I'm a little worried when you can't remember my name and I've been your president for 28 years. Good afternoon. My name is Doug Sanders. I would like to thank this community for this meeting that you're having here today. I also want to thank you for letting me serve as your city treasurer since 1993 for 28 years. And of those 28 years, I have shown proven leadership and ethical responsibility with character. Part of my fiscal responsibility, I manage an aggregate amount of over $3.5 billion of city, state, federal, and bond proceeds in my 28 tenure. I've earned over $25 million in aggregate amounts of interest revenue on General City, CRA, now the successor agency, and bond proceeds. In my years of experience, I have seen and went through several major economic crises that had an effect on this city. One, we all know what we're dealing with right now is COVID-19 and the pandemic throughout the world. The crash of 2007 and 2008, the Wall Street financial crisis, the dot-com market crash, and of course, the Orange County bankruptcy. I'm a certified public funds investment manager. I attended the University of Southern California, majoring in accounting, finance, and economics. I attended the UCLA course in accounting and certificate program. I've earned an AA degree from Compton Community College, majoring in accounting and economics. But my professional membership is the California Municipal Treasurers Association, Government Finance Officers Association, and Association of Public Treasurers. I've served 8 years in the United States Navy with an honorable discharge, and I'm asking on April 20th that you re-elect me as your city treasurer. Now, part of the reason why I've
Okay. But just before you go, you tell us a little bit about your family, your wife, kids, or whatever.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, this one's gonna be very short. I'm having kids, and I'm not married, okay?
Okay.
And not looking to either.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Hey, Jonathan, you wanna? Okay. Hey, Jonathan,
Solo voy a hacer breve sobre su información personal. Él es el tesorero corriente de la ciudad. Él ha estado en 28 años y él ha hecho varias cosas como manejar 3.3 billones de dólares, ha traído de ganancias a la ciudad como 25 billones. Él ha vivido por todos los tipos de problemas económicos que ha tenido la ciudad, incluyendo la pandemia, lo que pasó en el 2007 y su historial de escuela fue a la Universidad de Southern California, USC, también fue al colegio comunitario aquí en Compton y tiene también 8 años de experiencia de militar. Es varias información que no pude captar toda, pero esto es básicamente una introducción de parte de él.
all right, thank you very much. Our next candidate will be Satra Zurita, and she's going to answer on the same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, work experience. What is your motivation for running for this office, and what is your vision for this office? Thank you. Satra Zurita.
And how much time did you give me?
2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes.
Okay, first I want to apologize for being late. I had another interview this morning and the traffic, so I apologize. So my name is Satra. Should I take this off?
Yes, yes, yeah.
I'm scared.
We're all socially distanced.
Okay. My name is Satra Zurita, and I'm Vice President of the Governing Board of Trustees of the Compton Unified School District. I was born and raised here in the city of Compton. I've been on the school board for 16 years, so I have 16 years of public agency budgeting and budget management experience. We call it the Compton turnaround, where we turned around the academia in Compton, but we also turned around the deficit spending at the school district. So for 9 years now, we've had a positively certified budget, which means that certifies our budget and acknowledges that we can pay our employees and our vendors for the next 3 years. And so now I want to take my experience from the school district to the city where it is desperately needed. I'm sure you all know about the $3.7 million that was embezzled out of the treasurer's office that went out in a backpack, in an employee's backpack for a period of more than 6 years. And the LA Times headline said more than $3.7 million embezzled by a deputy city treasurer over a period of 6 years, and nobody noticed. So I want to take my fiscal acumen over to the city, so that way I can set up systems that ensure that your taxpayers, your tax dollars are never embezzled again. And I also want to make it convenient for you. My 84-year-old mother still has to have somebody go pay her water bill because she can't pay it over the phone with the credit or debit card. And especially during times of COVID, it's critical when we tell people to stay at home, and we have stay-at-home orders, and young mothers with children. My time is up. Okay, so you want to know about my family, right?
Right.
Okay. I have one daughter who is a graduate of Loyola Marymount University, and I'm very proud of her. She's a state licensed esthetician, and of course, I have an extended family who's provided service to this community. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Adriana will come and give us a summary in Spanish.
La señorita Satra, ella es actualmente la vicepresidente del distrito escolar. Ella nació y vive en Compton, tiene 16 años de hacer varios proyectos en el distrito escolar. Ahora quiere tomar su experiencia del distrito escolar hacia la ciudad. Y explicó un poco de que hubo un problema con 3.6 millones que se desaparecieron. Entonces que ella quiere ayudar a proteger el dinero, cómo manejar el dinero mejor de Compton. y a ayudar a, otra cosa que quiere hacer es también ayudar a que la factura del agua se pueda pagar en línea y no en la oficina de Compton o por teléfono, así que tiene que ver una mejorar ese sistema. Ella tiene una hija y ella vive aquí en la ciudad de Compton.
All right, thank you again, Adriana. And now our next candidate who will also answer the same question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, family, work experience. What is your motivation for running for this office? And what is your vision for this office? Will be Brandon. Let's welcome Brandon.
Thanks. Thanks for having this block club forum. So I decided to run for city treasurer because, like all of you, I care about the Compton's future. Compton's future is based on the decisions we make about investments now. And that's what happens in the city treasurer's office. The city treasurer manages the city's investments. So on today, you will hear different perspectives about how the office can be run. And you will hear different strategies for what we could do differently. As your city treasurer, rather than do that, I'll just make some simple commitments to you. So as your city treasurer, I commit to attending the council meeting so I can participate in the policy planning and deliberation process. So I can get my input on the decisions that the city council is making that would affect, our liquidity in the future. I will be available in the office anytime for you during business hours. You can come in and talk to me about the city's investments. So if you have questions and you're concerned about what's happening with the city's investments, I will be available to you during business hours. I commit to you that every penny that comes into the city treasurer's office will make it to the bank, right? So no embezzlement. There will always be cash to pay employees. That's including our fire department and public safety. So we'll always be liquid enough to provide for our basic services. And then finally, I commit to the residents to having a bi-weekly meeting with the city controller. The city controller and the city treasurer don't do the same thing, but they both have a vested interest in the financial security of the city. It's important that those positions coordinate. So I commit to you that I would do that. I would invite you to go to my Facebook page to learn more about what we're planning to do. So you can go to Facebook and just put @Brandon for treasurer, and then my Facebook page will pop up. You can find out more information there. And I look forward to earning your vote on April 20th. Thanks.
You can take a few moments.
Yeah, I have 2 daughters. Okay. So yeah, one is 13, another is 2.5.
Okay, thank you. Now, Adriana will give us a summary.
El participante Brandon, él nomás mencionó que él importa el futuro de Compton, que quiere él promete atender a todas las citas de la ciudad, que son cada martes, y dar su opinión sobre su posición. Él dice que va a estar dispuesto y disponible en las áreas de negocio para cuando alguien tenga una pregunta, él va a estar disponible y que se asegura que cada penny que se le dé a Compton va a llegar al banco, que no se va a desaparecer y que también va a asegurarse que haya suficiente dinero para pagar a los empleados. Él es de aquí de Compton y tiene 2 hijas.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now our next, I think that's the 3 candidates. We have another candidate who's not, no.
We're only doing treasurer.
Oh, okay.
Only doing treasurer.
My bad.
Yeah.
Thank you, son, for
No
the correction.
problem. Yeah. We only
Good
got
to have
time.
children to keep you on track.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
so we got the 3
Yeah.
candidates for treasurer.
Mm-hmm.
And now, here's my second. This is a second general question that they'll have 2 minutes to answer. Just in general, what makes you the best candidate for this position? You each will have 2 minutes to answer. You can, now, anybody wants to correct me on this, we can move to the other questions. But that was my opening question.
Okay.
So they'll each have 2 minutes to tell us why they're the best candidate.
Let's go to the second question because I think that's kind of
Repeated it?
yeah, repeat.
Okay, we've answered. Okay, good. Okay, so now,
Yeah.
what I'll do, okay. Now, I'm glad everybody's here. The next question was, now I have 2 other questions I was given.
We'll wait on those.
Wait on these?
Just yeah.
Okay.
Let's stay on point. Yeah.
Thank you. on track. First question, what is your knowledge of the treasurer position? So the way we'll do it, we'll start with our treasurer. We'll move to Zurita, and then to Brandon.
We need to shorten answers, so make it 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute.
Just
I'll give each 1 minute.
Yeah.
To answer that question.
Yeah.
So we'll continue going in that order.
Yeah.
Starting with Doug, Zurita,
and then Brandon. Yeah.
So each question, we'll just give them a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get for
And that'll give
Adriana time.
To summarize. Okay. So the question is, what is your knowledge of the treasurer position? Okay. Hey, let me.
Well, I've served 28 years as the city treasurer for the city of Compton. I'm a member of about 4 different associations. I'm a certified investment officer. Also, my experience and qualification, I've earned legitimate revenue for the city of Compton over the 28 years. Like I said, it's been about $25 million. And one of the things that you're going to hear this from my competition, what they think they can do, but it's something that I've already done. And the most important thing is that you have to understand the difference between Wall Street and Main Street, because they're 2 different types of investment ideologies that you have to know how to use. On Wall Street looks at the total return. On Main Street, which is you and I, we have to manage political risk.
No problem. Well, the duties of the city treasurer are clearly defined in the city charter. And the city charter was written in 1888 and revised in 1983. And the duties of the treasurer are to have custody of all monies received by the city. And their duty is to deposit all monies received as designated by a resolution of the city council and the Constitution and state and federal laws. Their duty is to disperse all monies on demand as audited by the city controller's office, and then to prepare and submit monthly reports to the controller's office that include all reimbursements, all receipts, and any other information that is taken into account in the treasurer's office. Their last duty is to be there full time during the hours of operation for the city. And they're also to ensure their money is not embezzled. Taxpayer dollars don't walk out the door. So though they're clearly defined, there's much room to improve things in the treasurer's office. Just because it says you collect money doesn't mean that you can't set up systems to collect via credit card. So there are many advancements that can take place in the treasurer's office. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the duties of the city treasurer are to be the custodian of all the city's public funds. So that would include dollars that come into the city treasurer's office for water payments. Those are also under the custodian of the city treasurer. To deposit monies received, to actually make sure that monies received in the city treasurer's office make it to the bank, right? To ensure that dollars that are received are properly audited, which we know couldn't possibly have been happening, right? Finally, to prepare a monthly written report to the city council that would include a summary of all the city's investments and a report out on what activity has been had on those investments since the last report. So if those things have been happening on a consistent basis in the city of Compton, then clearly we would not be in the financial crisis that we were. So my understanding of the city treasurer's position is that it should be more of an advocate. When we see, as the city treasurer, when you identify issues, when you identify concerns with the city's financial controls, it's your responsibility as a member of the dais to bring that to public's attention. Even though the city controller is the chief financial officer.
Now, I'm going to try to give you a summary of all that's been said.
Okay, so for your first candidate, okay, español, se olvidó. Ok, el primer participante dice que él, porque la pregunta era ¿qué tanto saben sobre la posición de tesorero? Y el primer candidato dijo que tiene 28 años de tesorero, que es miembro de 4 asociaciones y que tiene mucha experiencia y calificaciones para esta posición otra vez. Él ha ayudado a traer 25 millones a la ciudad y que tiene y también alguien que tiene que entender el sistema financiero. De parte de la señora Satra, ella dice que su entendimiento es de que todo el dinero recibido esté escrito, que esté reportado y que esté escrito, y todo como se cierra el dinero del tesorero es que está escrito en un libro que se llama The Charter. El libro es un libro que tiene la ciudad, que lo tienen para todos los residentes, y en este libro explican cómo se debe funcionar la ciudad paso por paso. Es algo que nosotros hicimos como residentes y que se puede cambiar y tenemos el derecho de cambiar. Y también cómo cuidar el dinero de los ciudadanos y que no se pierda el dinero. Que la mayoría no quiere que el dinero se pierda. Y de parte del señor Brandon, su entendimiento de la posición del tesorero es de depositar todo el dinero, ayudar que todo el dinero llegue a donde debe, reportar toda la actividad financiera, reconocer dónde se necesita ayuda. Estas son sus explicaciones.
Thank you, Adriana. Now we're going to move to the next question. And the next question is, what systems would you put in place to safeguard against theft? And each candidate will have 1 minute and 12 seconds, starting with Doug. Okay. We'll start with the young lady first. Okay.
Your chair is up there. It's just, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's being occupied. All right, thank you. That's okay, we'll start with Zurita.
Well, the city received a state audit from the state auditor's department that included about 200 findings, and many of them were cash handling, about cash handling. So first of all, I put in merchant systems where people would be encouraged to pay with credit card or debit card. Doesn't mean you can't use cash, but at this point, you almost have to use cash. So giving people the option to do that. And I would meet with the state auditor and review the state auditor's report and ensure that all of those findings are cured. Because at this point, I don't think half of them have been cured. And there are just some little things that can take place that ensure that there's not any theft. Oftentimes when you work in a bank, you have to carry in a clear bag. Your purse is clear or your backpack is clear, so that way you can ensure no money, no cash is going out. And I've seen cashiers at the window selling candy. So in an office where $3.7 million have come up missing, you got people trading cash for candy. And how do you determine what's the city money and what's not? So there are a lot of little things that can happen.
Now, Brandon.
Okay. So the cash was stolen from the treasurer's office out of a backpack. What happens in the treasurer's office is at the end of the day, you drop your cash register, and then you total up the cash that's there, and then an amount goes to the bank. So essentially, there was an employee that was saying that one amount was going to the bank, and they were taking an amount of cash home. So there should have been someone else watching that person, right? You shouldn't be allowed to handle cash alone. No one that works with cash should be allowed to handle cash on. There should be cameras everywhere that cash is handled in the city offices. So in the city treasurer's office, anywhere else that cash is taken. And then of course in the city controller's office, the reconciliations have to be done on time. And that's of course what I found when I was working in the city controller's office, that the reconciliations weren't done and that we were carrying over $3.7 million of cash in transit every month. So when you're doing that in the controller's office, and then you have loose controls in your treasurer's office, that's how theft can occur, right? So we need to fix both those things, the controls in the controller's office, and also the physical controls like, cameras, and actually having people verify the cash amounts that go to the bank.
Okay, and now.
Boy, it's sure interesting when people come up here and they absolutely don't know what they're talking about. Okay, this is one of the copies of the state auditor's report that I got in my hand. And Brandon should know he was on, at the time, working in the city controller's office when a lot of this was happening. Now, they're talking about cameras and stuff. All these different things we took in place in 2017. The only reason they keep bringing up the stuff that happened 5 years ago is because we put the necessary things in place to stop it. Here's one thing that nobody doesn't talk about. Of course, we have dual custody, all right? The other thing, we do have cameras. Cameras came in 2017. The other thing that is, which is important, we have a real-time lead with one of the persons up in the city controller's office that's able to look in and see what the daily deposits are. That was missing. That one piece that they couldn't see because the person was changing the deposit slips as they go. So now we have dual custody going all over the place. There's no one that doesn't go anywhere without the other person trailing them. And I'll talk about a little bit more about the auditor's report because I got it with me.
Thank you so much. Now, let's get Adriana here. I think she's doing a great job.
It's a lot of information.
Yes, it is.
Okay, de parte de la señorita Satra, ella dice que ha encontrado como 200 diferentes ocasiones donde se usó como dinero en efectivo que no se manejó muy bien, así es que ella piensa ayudar a trabajar e implementar un sistema donde se pueda tracear todo el dinero y ayudar a que todas esas ocurrencias donde se ha perdido el dinero no vuelva a pasar. De parte del señor Brandon, dice que el dinero fue robado en una mochila, así que tiene que haber más personas supervisando el dinero, tiene que haber, así como una persona que quien esté manejando el dinero, que tenga otra persona que lo pueda confirmar que haya hecho lo correcto. Y también tener más cámaras donde quiera que se use el dinero y arreglar a la persona que controla el dinero y que verifique dónde se va el dinero. Y de parte del señor Doug, dice que él tiene una copia en su mano del estado de las cuentas de la ciudad, que varios de los otros personas que están aquí, que ellos no saben en realidad todo lo que se toma para hacer tesorero, como él, que ya tiene varios años, y que nadie habla de todo lo que está detrás de todo, porque dice que muchos de los sistemas que ellos están preguntando que quieren hacer, que ya están en lugar, y que sí hay cámaras desde el 2017, y que él nos va a hablar un poco más sobre el estado que trae en mano de la cuenta de la ciudad.
All right, thank you, Adriana. And let's give our cameraman, Amani Williams, a hand as long as we're back there. Keep us all on here. Now, I have one more question, but for time's sake, I think I'm going to skip my question because Marguerite gave me some other questions, and I want to make sure, that came from the audience here.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that they get in. So if you give me, okay, Marty.
Just a quick thing.
Okay.
Just a question for the people of Zoom and in the audience. Is the time allotment okay, or would you rather the candidates have more time to speak? Because right now we're just doing a minute because I don't want to hold you too long. But if 2 minutes is more satisfactory, we could do 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Okay,
So
we'll make that a correction. We'll give each of you 2 minutes.
on the fly.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is this is a
So-
work in progress.
We'll give them more time so that way we can hear more from the candidates.
Okay, now these
So, yeah.
questions may be more directly to Doug. So, I don't know, Chef.
Go for it.
Okay,
Go for it.
all right.
Yeah.
So,
There's actually 3, but this one is a shorter one, so it's going to be quick. But yeah.
okay.
Let's go with what you have first. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give my last question here that I have on the sheet, and then I guess I'll bring Doug up.
Yeah.
Then we'll jump to
There
this,
you go.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. So my last question was, how would you make a concerted effort as the treasurer to work in a productive manner with City Council? And we'll start again with Zurita. And this time, everyone gets 2 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, let me repeat the question. How would you make a concerted effort as the treasurer to work in a productive manner with the City Council? So give me 1 second to adjust the timer. Just a second. It'll be everyone with that 2 minutes. Bear with me. Let me get out the way and let Zurita come on up, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. My job as a treasurer would be an administrator in the treasurer's office. And in order to inflict or affect any change in the city of Compton, we have to move forward in a professional manner. And if we learn to work professionally with what is best for the job, who's best for the job, and able to work with our colleagues in the best interest of our citizens, then that's how we change the culture of waste, fraud, and abuse in the city of Compton. So I'm looking forward to working with the council colleagues, and I would be an advocate for the citizens. I'm not afraid to say what the truth is. And recently, they published an audit, the 2019 audit, where the city is deficit spending $134 million. How many of you know that? And so when we have in the best interest of the citizens of Compton. I remember the great Compton. I was born and raised here. I've been on the school board for 16 years working for families and their children. We're feeding children during this COVID pandemic. We have vaccines. We've been doing immunizations. So we have been putting in the work and we continue to work, and I want to share my proven leadership and my proven experience with the city of Compton. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Brandon.
Okay. So, in my 15 years of working in public organizations, I found the best administrators are present. You have to be at work in order to observe the problems that are happening so that you can make changes. So like I said at the outset of this, you're going to hear different methods and different methodologies about what can happen in the treasurer's office. But again, I think it's about the commitments. I'm committed to actually attending the council meetings. If I'm not there, then the chief deputy city treasurer will be there. I will be in the office to actually manage the staff and manage the operations of the staff. So I'll attend city managers' department head meetings, make sure that I'm coordinating with the other departments. So that's how you work best with the city council, and that's how you work best to make things happen.
Thank you, Brandon. You still have a little bit more time if you want to say anything else. All right. Now, Doug is going to come.
Over the last 28 years, I've always worked with my council. But let's be straightforward. The treasurer's involvement with the council is somewhat limited based upon our charter. But I'm always interested in hearing what the council has to say or what their recommendations. I can take for one instance right now. I had a conversation with the city controller on something that the mayor had asked her about, our pension liability. And it's something that I told her something we should have done a long time ago is reduce our liability of our pension, because we might get a better bang for our buck if we can pay down it and get a discount on it versus having that money sit up and late and not earning a right amount of return. So to reduce the city's liability, those are some of the things that I've had conversations with, or listening to what the request from the mayor and council's office. But it is limited. But I've always, over the 28 years, worked with my council. So let's address this thing. I mean, you know, listen, folks. I'm the guy that's on the top of the hill, so everybody's going to throw all kind of stuff at me. Everything they're talking about that I'm not doing, it's being done. People are paying online with their credit cards. That's been going on for almost 10 years now. So some of the stuff's not true. So let's deal with the situation. We said he asked for a raise. Yes, I did. I don't have any problem with telling you that I did. You see, you have to understand under our city charter, the only time that I can ask for a raise is 30 days before the filing period. So the next time I can ask for a raise is 4 years from now. Now, I've been on my job for 28 years, and I only had one raise in 28 years, and that was 16 years ago. So asking for a raise at this particular time, I have no problem with it.
Thank you. Okay, now, yes,
I'm sorry, 16 years ago. Yep, I didn't do that.
Ok, ahora voy a dar un resumen sobre las respuestas de los candidatos, de los representantes Satra. La primera es que tenemos que mover adelante y trabajar juntos con mis colegas de la ciudad, que incluye las otras personas que hacen decisiones. Tenemos que arreglar el sistema, cómo manejar. El tesorero pidió un aumento de $25,000 para un aumento, y ese dinero se puede usar para las calles. Entonces que ella piensa ayudar en evitar eso y que no pedir aumento, yo creo. De parte de Brandon, dice que él tiene, en los 15 años que tiene de experiencia, él ha aprendido que tiene que estar en el trabajo para poder hacer cambios. Él piensa estar involucrado y asistir a las juntas, que va a estar en todas las citas para poder salir adelante. Y el señor Doug dice que como él es el tesorero actualmente, él en los últimos 20 años siempre trabajó con todos sus colegas, y dice que lo escuchen, que la razón que él está pidiendo un aumento, que es porque la única oportunidad que tiene para pedir un aumento es cada 4 años, y que de todos los años que he trabajado, el último aumento que tuvo fue hace 16 años, y por eso pidió el aumento. Es que se está dependiendo de la otra respuesta del otro candidato. Gracias.
Hi. Thank you very much, Adriana. Now, the next few questions are going to be for our current treasurer, Doug. So, if it's okay, I guess I'll give him 2 minutes on each of these questions, because all of them seem to be directed to him. And I'll start first with him, and then I'll come back with one last question for your other candidates. No. I will do one at a time. Okay. And
You know what?
I'll try to count. Give you 2 minutes on each. When you hear the buzzer, then we'll go to the next question. Now, Adriana, you want to interpret? At the end. Okay. All right. So, let's see. Okay. First question. What system, policy, or procedure are you most proud of in your current position that you have implemented? Okay, that's part one. question. Okay. Part two, what procedures have you successfully implemented since the embezzlement? Okay, so those are the two questions. Want me to repeat them or should I? Okay, all right. 2 minutes. Okay, well.
You got a limit, 2 minutes.
That's okay. Well, first and foremost, getting the cameras in City Hall is really important. But I think I mentioned it earlier on. The City Controller's Office didn't have a live read access. So therefore, to help cure their bank reconciliations, they're able to look at real time and see what the daily bank deposits are. I think that's crucial and important in today's going on. The other thing I think that I'm proud of is that we implemented dual systems. Everybody's checking each other out. We're signing off on different things. Each person is verifying their account. That goes on. And I think we tightened up some of the what we call our transmitting of cash. Now, the one thing that I was really kind of concerned of in the auditor's report is that coming from the controller's office that they had some weak internal controls. Like the state auditor said that under GAO standards of the internal controls, they failed on 71 of the 79. Now, that's 90%. And that's not just failure, that's a total collapse of the internal control system. So that's something that the new city controller has been working on. And yes, we did get finally, after years of having an actual financial statement, that they can finally try to get some bond ratings for the bonds that they're going to be doing coming up. But what was the other part of the question?
What procedures have you successfully implemented since the embezzlement? Oh, I'm sorry, that was time. But I tell you what, since what we'll do is just a moment.
Give an additional minute.
We'll keep, what did you say, Mike? 1 minute?
Go, do what you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll keep going. I'm gonna give you another 2 minutes to answer that second half of the question. Okay?
Okay. I probably will need 2 minutes. I think most of you will cover. Just getting the gist of it.
Okay. The question was, what procedures have you successfully implemented since the embezzlement?
Okay. Basically, all of them, to be exact. We did about 13 pages of policies and procedures. As a matter of fact, if the city wants to see them, I'll post them on my webpage so everybody can look and see them for themselves. But we did a heads up, bottom, tail, turn everything around type of thing with the city. And actually, the new controller, as well as our CPA firm, was very pleased of the policies and procedures that we have put in place. So I'm quite proud of that. I'm still working with our city controller because of the audit that we have. As a matter of fact, the state auditor had over 318 findings. We're down to roughly about 200 and something now. The city still has a long ways to go. But as far as the city treasurer's office, now remember, this happened or was caught in 2016. There's nothing has happened up into 2021 because of the policies and procedures that we have put in place. So don't listen to the folks when they tell you that things are not happening. That's not true, because I can bear witness to it myself.
Okay, you can stay close, Doug, because the next couple of questions are directed towards you. Just a second. And then we do have one question for directly for Zurita. Okay. The question is, for transparency and accountability, can you talk about Betty Ying's audit findings and what's been done to address her grave concerns? Again, for transparency and accountability, can you talk about Betty Ying's, that's Y-E-A, audit's findings and what's been done to address her grave concerns.
No, I can't. Just straight out. Because Betty Yang and her audit concerns goes directly to the Chief Financial Officer of the City of Compton. And a lot of those findings are mostly directed at the City Controller's Office, and that has to do with your internal controls, your accounting procedures. The City Treasurer has very limited scope and duty. It's all spelled out in the charter, but also it's all spelled out in state law. So the majority of the audit finding goes to the Chief Financial Officer of the city, and that is the City Controller. As far as for transparency, we've been transparent in everything that we do because we got nothing to hide. You know, this money doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the people of the City of Compton. And over the 28 years, I've done the best that I can possibly do to make sure that we get full accounting of the things that we do. Things happen, yes, but you learn from your mistakes and you try to do better. We all can do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess one last question for Doug. Just a second. Okay, it's been on your watch that we've, I'm sorry, excuse my, wait, okay. Yeah, it's been on your watch that we've seen in this fiscal problems are the controls to keep money from walking out in the backpack. I think he may have addressed this. Yeah, I think he already addressed it. So we'll skip it. We'll skip that one. And I guess there's one personal question right quick. It says, and maybe you can just answer this in a word. It says, what year did you graduate from USC? That was a personal question. Okay. And then that'll be it. Then we'll move on, okay? I don't think you'll need 2 minutes for that.
No. I attended the University of Southern California. I completed the majority of my courses. I'm missing one, so I didn't graduate, and I never put on any of my on my literature saying that I'm a graduate from USC. No, I completed everything up into one course, and I'm not going back because the classes are $40,000 a unit, so I won't be going back to that.
All right, now, Adriana's going to try to give a summary. And right after Adriana's summary, what I'm going to do is there's going to be one question directly for Zurita that I have someone has given me. And then if both candidates would like to respond in any way to any of the questions that I've asked Doug, we'll give them a platform to do that as well. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Una de las, voy a contestar las preguntas que hicieron al tesorero, que es el actual tesorero candidato. Una de las preguntas era qué sistema o póliza tienen más, está orgulloso de. Y dice que él ha implementado un sistema donde doble revisan el trabajo uno a otro para asegurarse que todo vaya bien y que todas las finanzas vayan bien. Después de años ya tiene un reporte de todo, dice la mano. Dice, y otra pregunta fue, ¿qué procedimientos usted ha hecho para mejorar que no se roben el dinero de la ciudad? Dice que hizo un reporte de 13 páginas en detalle de todos los en detalle de todas las cosas que hemos cambiado. Tenemos mucho trabajo que hacer, que no escuchen que de los otros candidatos que no ha pasado nada porque él ha hecho muchos cambios. Y para atrás también le preguntaron que la señora Betty Yang encontró varias cosas en la ciudad en que ella hizo un reporte y qué podía decir él sobre eso. Y él dijo que no puede hablar de eso porque eso se va, lo que hizo la señora Betty Yang se va directo al contador y que él no está involucrado con esa parte, pero que él ha sido muy transparente y que desde que han empezado. Y una pregunta personal le preguntaron que si fue a la Universidad de Southern California, USC, que en qué año se graduó, y dice que no se graduó de ahí y que él nunca ha dicho que se ha graduado, pero que él hizo la mayoría de sus clases ahí, la mayoría de su educación fue en esa escuela.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adriana. Now, the question directed for Sarita is, how will you balance your duties with the school board and with your duties as city treasurer?
Okay.
It's free time.
We'll get there.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to answer that question. The treasurer's job is a full-time job, and the school board job is a part-time job. We meet twice a month. I would stay on the school board as long as my constituents and employees would like me to stay there. I would like to stay there to see the completion of the new Compton High School that we're building. I was instrumental in the beginning stages and the construction and all of the planning. So I would love to be there for that, to make sure things are taken care of the way they should be. But the treasurer's office is a full-time job, full-time responsibility, and I'm prepared to be there full-time. Many other elected officials have full-time jobs, and they do their elected positions in a part-time manner. So I'm finished there. Do you want me to just segue into
Yes,
the other questions that you asked? Okay.
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay. I don't remember the exact question, but I know how to answer it.
Transparency, accountability, and you talk about Betty Ying's audit findings and what's they've done to address those great concerns.
Okay. First of all, you know, everybody has somebody that in their family that's been a drug addict or on alcohol, and they go to 12-step program. And the first part of being successful is admitting you have a problem or taking responsibility. You can't keep blaming the city controller's office when the cash left in a backpack out of your office, one of your employees, for more than 6 years, and no one noticed. So first of all, you have to accept the responsibility in order to move on in a successful way. And to clarify, you can pay with credit or debit card online. However, you cannot pay with a credit or debit card over the phone. And most seniors in this community are not as computer savvy. They can pick up the phone and pay their bill very easily with their credit or debit card. So we just have to remember that in order to move forward, and yeah, stuff does happen. However, you have to be responsible. That's taxpayers' money. $3.7 million plus. They stopped auditing because it was going to cost that much to complete audits if they continue to go on. So who knows what the number was? And when stuff happens, sometimes it's time for someone else to come in and bring in their professionalism and their expertise to protect your cash dollars. Because how much could that have covered on streets? Could it have thwarted the layoff of 44 employees, the closing of the senior center? Our seniors don't have anywhere to go anymore, no resources. Kids can't play in the parks. All of those kind of things could have been affected by this theft. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I don't know if I'll be able to say anything else, but thank you.
Did you want to comment? Oh, okay. Thank you.
La primera pregunta que se le preguntó a la candidata es que cómo va ella a compartir su tiempo, porque ella tiene una posición en el distrito unificado de la escuela, y cómo va a compartir su tiempo. Así que dijo ella, gracias por la oportunidad. el distrito, el trabajo del distrito es solo un trabajo medio tiempo y la posición de la ciudad es un tiempo completo, así que me gustaría estar en los dos puestos. Dice, y luego la otra pregunta sobre que si puede contestar en transparencia sobre lo que encontró la señora Betty Yang, y dice que ella sabe que todos en nuestra familia tenemos a alguien que ha tenido problemas. Dice que el tesorero actual tiene que aceptar responsabilidades de lo que ha pasado con el dinero robado, que fueron como 3.7 millones, y ese dinero pertenece a los residentes, entonces que ellos se tienen que ser responsables. Hay veces que ocupamos que otras personas nuevas entren a la oficina para hacer más cambios.
Thank you so much, Adriana. Now, Brandon's going to have opportunity to make comments on the questions that were asked. The transparency. The question was, transparency, accountability. Can you talk about Betty Yang's audit findings and what's been done to address her grave concerns?
Okay, so just to piggyback on what the candidate Zurita was saying, the reason that the auditors stopped auditing is because, yes, the cost was going to be so high to continue because the actual cash receipts that came from the treasurer's office were so altered that we couldn't actually determine what the cash deposits were each day. That doesn't happen in the controller's office. The controller's office doesn't have anything to do with the cash receipts that are written out in the treasurer's office. If you're the custodian of the city's funds, of the public's funds, you have to have better procedures in place than to have Mickey Mouse cash receipts. So the issue in controller's office versus the city treasurer's office is one of coordination. And so you can't simply exempt yourself as the city treasurer from working with the city controller. As I've already stated, the city treasurer sits on the dais. The city treasurer reports to the public. The city treasurer has a responsibility to bring financial concerns to light. That's what we need. We can't continue to just put the city treasurer's office in this bubble of, I only do this because this is what's written. If we only go to work and only do what little small thing we feel is our job, then we won't get raises, which we didn't get, right? And we won't have increased performance. So what we need to focus on in the city treasurer's office is what else we can do, what additional things we can do, not how we can restrict it down to what just the city charter says.
Thank you. Now, Adriana is going to give us a summary.
Love you. Sobre lo que encontró la señora Feria y lo que encontró la señora Feria y que lo que piensa de él. Dice que la razón que pararon de investigar por el robo del dinero lo hicieron porque ya costaba mucho dinero para seguir adelante, así que mejor se tuvo que parar. Es que en realidad no se sabe si fue más de 3.5 millones, puede ser que hubiera hecho más. Tenemos que tener mejor control, el tesorero se tiene que enfocar en qué más puede hacer y no solo quedarse en una, ¿cómo se llama? Dentro de una burbuja, tiene que salir adelante y trabajar con otros de los otros departamentos de la ciudad para que se unan y puedan hacer cuentas y tener todo claro y transparente para todos los residentes, porque al fin del día todo el dinero que está en las ciudades viene de nuestros taxes, de nuestros impuestos. Entonces que él piensa que tiene que haber mucho, tiene que tener mejor control.
All right. Let's give Adriana a hand. She's been a wonderful job. Let's give our kind and wonderful host, Margarita, hands. Open up her back there. I want to thank all the candidates for their kindness in coming out, and for all of you who've come out today to share with us. And now I'm going to bring up a young man that I've known since he was born. Fine young man that has lived in this community all his life. And he loves the city of Compton. I don't want you to think I'm partial, but yes, I am. Almighty Williams.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amadi Williams. As you can see, that's my dad, Eddie Williams. I just want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank each of the candidates for coming today. They didn't have to be here. They weren't paid to be here. Or anything like that. This is a part of our block club, so if you also have a block club and you want something like that, put the word out. The plan is to do another one like this for the District 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the mayor's race yet because I'm only one man. Thanks to our Adriana, as my dad said, and Miss Marguerite, and the whole McMillan Block Club. We've been trying to make more things aware. That's the whole idea about this. And I know we didn't have a lot of time for questions. I was trying to get people's questions, and we got them through the box and everything. So I just want to thank you all for coming out and thank you for participating. Our next one, hopefully we can do this again. I'm talking to the different candidates for District 2 for February 27th. That's Saturday, same time, 1 p.m. That'll be the next one. We're going to be doing the same thing, just streaming live on Zoom and Facebook. And if I can get in contact with everybody, I just want to mention those who are here, Ms. Lynn Boone and Mr. Christian Reynaga. And also Mr. Jace Dawson. I just want to say these people are running for mayor, and I'm sorry, who am I missing?
Mike Willey, Representative Bishop Hillary.
And say that again. Sorry. Bishop Hillary. I'm sorry. Bishop Hillary.
And I am the representative for Mike Willey, running for mayor.
Representative for Mike Willey. So I just want to make people aware of who's here and what's going on. And I just want to thank you all for coming to Miss Marguerite's backyard.
Queremos dar gracias a todos los candidatos que llegaron aquí a dar su opinión sobre las preguntas que todos los residentes tienen. También le damos las gracias a la señora Margaret por prestar su casa y a Mr. Williams, Eddie Williams, por participar, y a todas las personas que nos están viendo por Zoom, por Facebook, por todo. La razón que estamos haciendo esto es porque nosotros organizamos el club se llama Block Club, en español puede ser, le llamamos el club de la calle McMillan, y les pedimos que ustedes hagan su propio club, porque este club ha hecho nos ha unido como una calle, nos ha unido con nuestros vecinos, así que ahora somos vecinos unidos, quien está aquí, y nos ha traído varios beneficios, porque ahora ya nos conocemos varios, ya podemos hablar cuando vamos caminando, nos saludamos, y si ustedes quieren hacer un blog club, un club de su calle, nos pueden dejar un mensaje con su información, y yo, Amar y otras personas les podríamos ayudar en cualquier ayuda que necesiten para que empiecen, porque la verdad sí vale la pena estar unidos con sus vecinos. Ahora ya nos fijamos, nos cuidamos uno al otro, y hemos hecho varios cambios en nuestra calle. Así que muchas gracias por estar aquí. También para el mes de febrero, el 27 de febrero, vamos a hacer otra cita igual, donde vamos a tener los candidatos del Distrito 2, que es muy importante porque esta calle, McMillan y todos sus alrededores, somos el Distrito 2. Hemos tenido al representante Galván, que es nuestro representante actualmente, y ahora ya vamos a seleccionar en abril el nuevo representante. Así es que depende de nosotros a quién queremos poner ahí a que nos represente, y vamos a tener a los representantes aquí en el mes de febrero, y ojalá para el mes de marzo o antes, a lo mejor otra fecha, podemos también traer a los representantes que están corriendo como alcalde de la ciudad de Compton, porque también es algo muy importante donde tenemos que votar. Muchas gracias a todos.
And before we dismiss with a brief word of prayer, I just want to acknowledge our youngest Comptonite, Adriana's daughter. She's here with us. Yes, she's a trooper. Yes, she is. You can always
Angela's famous.
Yeah. Beautiful pictures. All right, so again, thank you all for your participation, to each of the candidates and all of you here, and again for our gracious host, Sister Marguerite. So I'm going to close with just a brief word of prayer. Father, thank you for this time of deliberation. Thank you for each of the candidates and for all of the community members that are here today. Bless us as we depart from this place, but never from your presence. Help us to continue to be mindful of all your rich blessings that you have given to us, that we live in this city, and we have your showers of blessings upon us as we humble ourselves before you and look to you. And we give you all the glory in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
All right.
Thank you very much for